Richard, who am I speaking to, please?
Yeah, it's James calling from Office of the Public Advocate, returning a call regarding John McQueen.
Oh, hi, mate. How you going?
Yeah, good.
That's good. Look, John's been served with a what is it called? Like the crisis assessment team went to his house, and he's been the victim of a heinous oppression, and he's lost millions and millions of dollars in detriment via a conspiracy to pervert the cause of justice. Now, I know this sounds like I'm the patient, but just bear with me. He has suffered a suicide in Werribee Mercy Hospital in 2021, and he further that hospital suicide was deemed as fatal. Now, no one stood up for him because he was character assassinated. Now, he stood up for himself, and the government ombudsman's condoned it as nothing to see. Now, he's tried to get justice for his human rights issues, but he's lost over $1 million at the Australian Human Rights Centre. He's lost his job. He's lost his income assist. He's been framed in 2 VOCAT cases, and this is what he's shown me and proven to me. He lost $1 to $2 million at the Australian Financial Complaints Authority, and his work cover claim that is still ongoing is before the AAT on this Wednesday. Now, what has happened is that he has been so effectively framed and character assassinated that he cannot go to police, he cannot be a whistleblower, and he cannot be access to the law. Now, it's within this government's constitution that I'm aware of that the Charter for Human Rights, Dignity and People with Disabilities say he must have equal access to the law. Now, there's 2 situations that are extremely urgent here. One is that he's been served with a document that is to incarcerate him. He was warned last time he was in hospital that he would be incarcerated and a ward of the state permanently. The man has done nothing wrong. He is the victim of a conspiracy that the mental health team are a part of. Are you with me?
Okay, I'm just trying to see where I fit in this because you've
Well,
called the Office of the Public Advocate, so I'm quite on, and you called the after hours number, so I'm not sure why.
Well, he's going to be incarcerated against his will tomorrow.
Right.
Right? What if you're the Office of the Public Advocate and this man is a public person and he has suffered an extreme duress, including conspiracy to murder, and lived in poverty for an entire year whilst they rob him of millions of dollars, isn't that something that the Office of the Public Advocate would want to know about and intervene with? And additionally, because he's going to the AAT on Wednesday for his work cover case, which is probably now a TPD because he suffered a brain injury, he has not got a representation in litigation. Now, it is within the Charter of Human Rights of people with a disability that people of public office don't stray outside of that legislation, which is ingrained into law. The government now has a 25-year experienced lawyer to kick him when he's down on Wednesday at the AAT, when he's supposed to defend himself as a person who is incredibly oppressed and who the Attorney General herself condones that she will not intervene.
This sounds incredibly complex, Richard.
Well, the basic thing is that you as a public official employed by the government also have a duty of care and an obligation to act within human rights. He's published a website. It's called killhim.info. He believed that there was a movement to kill him, and he believed that even further after he suicided in the hospital, and it was condoned by the Commonwealth Ombudsman as innocuous. Now, he believes further that they are aiding and abetting his death by attacking him by proxy in the hip pocket. The system is watching him. His former partner is an ASIO agent who owes him $500,000. That's for starters. But look, you as a public person, can I just grab your name again there? Sorry.
Yep, James.
James, who from the public opposite?
What do I need to give you my surname?
Oh, just wondering.
Can I just explain who you've called? So obviously I work for the...
Yeah, sorry, I may have got the wrong person. I just assumed that...
We're appointed by BCAT as guardian for people to make personal decisions. We are not guardian for John, as far as I can tell. So I'm not sure what assistance I can provide to you.
Well, if a person is that can easily prove that they are the subject of a victim conspiracy to pervert the course of justice, and they've done nothing wrong, apart from being framed, and they're owed millions of dollars in detriment, aren't you able to intervene to stop him from being incarcerated against his will forever tomorrow?
No. We don't have any... I personally can't, that's for sure. What I'd suggest, Richard, is it'd be more beneficial to write an email to our office or contact our office during business hours tomorrow and have a conversation with our advice service, which is the same number you called, but just during business hours. And they might be able to provide you with a bit more advice as to what to do in a situation like this. But as I said, I'm on after hours this week, and our goal is to make emergency decisions when we're authorised to do so by VCAT, which I'm not authorised to do in this case because we're not appointed as guardian for John.
How would we go about appointing you as a guardian for John to avoid the clear conspiracy that he's the victim of?
So you would need to apply to VCAT?
We haven't got time. He's been oppressed for an entire year since his fatal injury, which the hospital called it. And further, they have issued him with a community treatment order today. They're coming back tomorrow to collect him. He has already got evidence that they plan to commit him a ward of the state forever. Once he leaves his house, he's going to be incarcerated against his will, and he's going to stay there forever, and as an award of the state, a prisoner of this country, because he knows too much information. And also, even if that doesn't happen, he has cancer, and they refuse to treat him. And the third thing... Pardon?
Who refuses to treat him?
He's tried his best to get atonement from a doctor from all over the place. Like, since his suicide, he has begged for a psychiatrist and a psychologist to oversee his care. He's been denied medication. That's because he's been framed at APRA for making a valid complaint. And he has also been rejected from Saltwater Clinic, the service, that the very arm of the hospital which he was trying to sue, which is a conflict of interest. And now Saltwater Clinic are coming to him and saying, you've relapsed. I mean, how would they know? The people that went to the door didn't even know him. Now, obviously the people are watching, and he's a very public advocate. So he used to be a former public speaker and spoke in Parliament and wrote a book and everything. So he's been advocating for himself on the internet, and they are aware that he's closing in on the government and they can't hide much longer. So the powers that be are trying to incarcerate him award of the state before he gets justice.
Okay. I'm not sure if there's anything I can do this evening for you, Richard, but what I'd suggest is there's two things. Either call our office back during business hours tomorrow and ask to speak to the advice service.
Yeah.
Secondly, you could apply to VCAT tomorrow morning.
Yep.
And you'd have to explain in your application how urgent this is, and they'll assess it on its merits. Thirdly, if he's going to be...
Can I just interject? Sorry, mate. Can VCAT overturn a decision for a community treatment order?
No, but they may be able... You mentioned before that you would like a guardian appointed for John, so that may be something
the basic gist of it is...
I guess the other thing is, from a mental health perspective, I'd suggest that if he's going to be, as you say, incarcerated by the CAT team tomorrow, he has rights under the Mental Health Act as well, and so I'd suggest that he or you, even on his behalf, can contact the Independent Mental Health Advocacy Service, so they will be able to step in and actually can get legal aid on board as well,
right,
to go down the mental health tribunal path. So that's your mechanism there, not VCAT. It would be the mental health tribunal.
Wait, I'm just writing this down. Mental health tribunal, and where?
So the mental health tribunal is the tribunal that considers treatment orders when whether someone meets the criteria for them or not.
Yep.
So they're an independent body who have 3 members sitting on them that changes every single time. And so I'd suggest that before you go to them, obviously you'd need to get, say, the Independent Mental Health Advocacy Service on board. IMHA or IMHA, I think they're called.
Oh, he's already been rejected from them.
Why has he been rejected by them?
He sent me the email. Wait on, I'll just have a look. It's because he's systemically cooked. What is it? IHMA, was it?
Correct. Yeah.
Wait on. I'll just have a look. He did send me the email because I've been in contact with him. He's very distressed that he's going to be incarcerated. Award of the state. It's an unholy injustice. Hang on. Yeah, I just got it the other day. I'll just have a look in. Sorry, mate. If you can just bear with me for 1 sec. I'm sorry to waste your time. Just bear with me. Just bear with me for a sec. Is IRMA a government agency? I've got.
IRMA is in.
Oh, what? How do you spell it?
IMHA.
IMHA. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So he's written a letter. Belinda, I need your support. He's asked Belinda from IRMA to advocate for him on behalf of the government lawyer and the AAT. Under the Charter of Human Rights of People with Disability, it is unethical for the AAT or its members who are bound by the human rights laws that Richard be treated unequally. He's got the Comcare number, and he refuses to be taken advantage of by means of omission, which proves a conspiracy to fulfill the cause of justice, and he'll be speaking to no one but through an advocate. And he's asked Belinda to sign it and be an advocate for him. But she has written back to him and said, "Thank you for your email. Unfortunately, I'm not able to follow your request and send the email you requested. There are a number of reasons for this, which I've discussed with my program manager. IMHA is not currently working with you. The email is not actually written by me and does not reflect my work undertaken with consumers. And IMA is non-legal advocacy service and I'm unable to make reference to equity under law or any law-related questions."
Well, in that case, I think your only other option is to
I know this sounds just so difficult, but everything with a .vic.gov.au or a .gov.au is systemically opposed to John. He has written to a lot of ministers, a lot of agencies, including ARPA, NHP, OPC, IBAC, the police, the federal police, the ombudsman. He's absolutely screwed every which way. This is a plan, a conscious, malicious, and systemic, and a plan with legs that is oppressing him over time, and he's owed millions of dollars. What do you think that he should do?
Look, I'm not sure what the answer is, Richard, given this is the first I've heard of this particular matter. I'm not an advice service worker. I'm the after-hours duty guardian for our office, so I can't give you any binding advice. All I'd suggest is that the mechanism, if John is challenging the mental health treatment order, as it seems, and that he's going to be taken off to hospital by the CAT team tomorrow, I think the only other mechanism you have is to apply to the Mental Health Tribunal, because they're the only people who can override a treatment order.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah, so that's all I'd suggest. But best of all.
What is it? The best the mental health mental health
mental health tribunal. So they're the tribunal of the court who hear requests or for review or reassessment of a treatment order under the Mental Health Act.
Yeah. Okay. No worries. Well, thank you for your help anyway. Can you just summarise for me in one sentence what the Office of the Public Advocate does, under which agency or auspice?
Sure. So we're an independent statutory office appointed by VCAT as guardian for people who have a cognitive impairment. We're appointed as the guardian as of last resort.
Hang on, wait. So this is exactly what he needs. So if he has a cognitive impairment from the suicide that happened in a hospital, which was then condoned by the government, and he can't think for himself and he has trouble formulating his thoughts, wouldn't you be the person to stand up for him or the agency?
Well, it depends on what the decisions are that need to be made. So BCAT would need to be satisfied that there's actually decisions that need to be made on John's behalf that he can't make himself.
Oh, he can make them. He's quite astute. He's just got a really bad memory because he lost all his blood and it's affected his hippocampus.
Right.
And the fatality in the hospital from Werribee Mercy over a year ago, from which he was then rejected from the health system, and no one has even ever acknowledged that he can't even feel his feet. Oh, sorry, I can hear your kid in the background. Sorry to bother you. He can't feel his feet. Like, if he can't feel his feet from that injury, and that what the Hospital Freedom of Information calls a fatality and a lethal injury, imagine what it's done to his brain. He was found unresponsive with zero pulse, zero observable pulse. And they stitched him up, kicked him out, and then promptly kicked him off the service. That's not right, mate.
It does sound very odd, that's for sure. Look, all I'd suggest, Richard, is that either you can apply to BCAT for an independent guardian to be appointed. Why, can I ask why you can't take on that role?
It's because I am him, mate. I'm Richard Mclean, and they have come to my door today to lock me in a hospital.
Because you referred to in the message John McLean, so I was a bit confused.
Yeah, I was hoping you didn't guess, but look, I'm quite sane. I know what I'm talking about, and I know the oppression that's happened to me. Now, I am a person with a public profile who has a human rights award. I've spoken all over the country as an advocate, and I've spent my life advocating for others. Now that I have been character assassinated by my former ASIO partner who owes me $500,000, and framed as an extortionist and all sorts of other horrid things. They have aided and abetted my death. That happened. My death happened. And a year later, they've suddenly appeared because they know I'm getting close to justice. My name is Richard Mclean, and I asked the Office of the Public Advocate to intervene in my case because I am going to be awarded incarcerated tomorrow. And I have a cognitive impairment. I can't remember things. I know I'm very articulate and I explain things well. I can't remember things from one day to the next. It has been a whole year. I have suffered enormous detriment. And I would like an email address of either you or the Office of the Public Advocate to explain this situation to.
Sure.
Now, I would like to not give away my power. I don't want to give my power away to the Office of the Public Advocate that says, oh, well, he needs to be hospitalised. I don't want that. What I want is my freedom and my dignity returned and my detriment in the injustices acknowledged. Do you understand?
Yeah, I'm understanding. But look, I can't make any comment on what may or may not happen in a situation like this. What the best email address I can give you is, you got a pen?
Hang on, I'll just write it straight down in an email. What's your are you going to give me your email?
No, I'm going to give you the advice email address for our office.
Right, what is it? I'll call them tomorrow. I'll call them tomorrow first thing in the morning.
Oh, okay, well, that's fine. If you want to call them, it's the same number, 1300 number that you called before.
Okay, but just to confirm, if someone's unable to act for themselves due to detriment or a cognitive impairment, which I think I have, but I mean, who'd know? Because I haven't even seen one psychologist in the whole year since I killed myself.
Right.
That is more than a bad public mental health service. That is an oppressive way to delay, defer, and deny any acknowledgement that there is an injury or it happened to cover it up.
So, are you suggesting you call that office tomorrow, or would you like to send an email? What's best for you?
Oh, sorry. I think you're splitting hairs. Look, I'm going to call your office tomorrow. Who's the manager there, or what's the name of the manager there at the top guy? I need to speak to the top brass.
So obviously Colleen Pierce is the public advocate.
Colleen Pearson.
Pierce. Yep.
IERCE.
Yep.
Office of Public Advocate. Yep.
Correct.
Yep.
So yeah, it calls that 1300 number that you would have called before.
Oh, can you just tell me what that is again quickly? It's 1300.
1300 309 337 between 9 and 5 tomorrow.
Okay, I'll call first thing 9 in the morning.
Okay.
Thank you for your time. Was it obvious that it was me?
Look, I didn't want to make any assumptions, that's for sure.
But you were suspicious.
I was somewhat suspicious, yes. Absolutely.
Well, I knew a bit too much about his story, didn't I?
It seemed like it. That's yeah.
Well, look. How do I frame this? Like, I'm articulate and I know it's happened to me, but I'm so ostracised and neglected and isolated. No one understands it from my existential perspective.
Sure.
I had to kind of externalize him as like a bit of a character. And I am a doctor. I'm a doctor of philosophy. I've done ethics. Like I know what ethics is. It means do no harm. Incredible harm has been done to me, and it's still going. It's a heinous thing. Anyway, thanks for your time today.
No problem. I hope it works out for you.
Well, I hope I'm not jailed for the rest of my life or killed because there's a hitman at the door. Anyway, all right. Thank you, mate.
Thank you. Bye.